Welcome to another segment, and here we'll be looking at how to develop neural networks from scratch. But before we look into that, we would we start with object-oriented programming, which is OOP for short. So it's a style of programming that uses objects and classes, which we'll see shortly. So let's imagine that you want to make blocks. So imagine you have a piece of land, and then you would want to make blocks so that you can have your building. The first thing you would have to do is to get a mold. So an example of a mold is what you see at this in this picture on the left hand side. And then you would have to mix your concrete, you have to mix your cement, you have to mix your sand and water together, and then you pour it into this mold. And after some time, what happens? You would have your block. Yeah, so we can also relate this to Python OOP, where your template here, this is your template. Your mold is a template which can be used to generate objects. So you have one mold, and one mold can generate thousands of blocks that you can use to erect your building. I hope this is clear. So that's the concept of OOP. You create a template. In this case, you create a mold, which you have in this picture, and then you can generate instances, meaning that you can generate objects, you can generate blocks, thousands of blocks from a single template. Yeah, so you can see these are the key concepts of OOP. You have objects. Yeah, so we can also relate that to blocks emanating from a particular mold. And then you have classes. An example here is the mold. And then we also have methods, which we'll touch on at some point. And then you also have attributes too. So the length and breadth of this mold would also be reflected on the blocks as well too. So if the length of your mold is, for example, 3 centimeter, then the blocks would also reflect that 3 centimeter too. So that's the concept of OOP. And then, so just like I mentioned earlier, a class is a blueprint for creating objects. So a class is a blueprint, is a template, is a mold. So you can see that picture here, a mold where blocks are created. It defines the properties, and I've also mentioned these two. So the mold also defines properties too, which would also be reflected on the blocks created from that mold. Okay then. So we have different properties, benefits of OOP. So these things you would realize them at some point. So reusability, maintainability, and scalability. For now, we'll just go through them, and then you can read through them, and then as we proceed, you would understand some of these properties, benefits of OOP. So let's go to our Google Colab, and then we'll create a class. Yeah, so this is my Google Drive, and inside my Google Drive, I will create a new project with my Google Collaborate, and then so we'll have it come in, and yeah, so it's here, and then I can edit. I can say lecture 1, and here it looks from so lecture 1, so new neural network. Let's just say OOP. Then we'll start with OOP, and then the first thing we want to create is our mold. So we'll use the class keyword. So let's imagine we want to create student. So our student, so have a template there, and then I have a template there, and then I have this special function. Remember, we treated function at some point in it, and then so we have self. So we'll have a student. The student would have a name and a matric number. So matric number, and then so we'll explain this at some point. So we have self.name. So let's give it this the name and also the matric, so that and then we can say the name. We can give this name, and then we also have self.matric number, matric number is equals to the matric number. Yeah, so and then from here we can create two objects, two instances, isn't it? So this is our template, this is our mode. We've created our mode, and then from our mode we can generate objects. So let's say student1 is equals to student, and then this person's name is John, and his matric number is 1 2 3 4, and then we have person 2. So this is student 2, and student 2's name is let's say Dio, and then student 2 has got matric number 6789. Yeah, so I can come here and say print the student 1's name, and then I can also come here to say, okay, well, print student 2's name. Yes, student 2, and then come here, that name, and if I run this, yeah, so it's coming up. Yep. Yeah, you can see John and Dio. So what we've done here is to create our template. This is our template. So this is our template, and then these are instances. These are objects. Object 1 from the template, object 1, and then we have object 2. Then we have, this is a special kind of method. They call it a constructor. So this template. So this constructor is within the template, and it's this constructor that would give each student the name and then the matric number. So you can see before this object is brought to life, you can see the constructor is being called. So John goes into the name, 1 2 3 4 goes into this, and then this object is assigned John. The name of the object is John. The matric number is assigned 1 2 3 4. Same thing goes for student 2. Dio goes into the name. 5 6 7 8 goes into the matric number, and then this student 2's name will be Dio and then matric number, such that if I say student 1, which is this object I've created from this template, if I say student 1.name, it prints Dio. Same time, if I say student 2.name, it also prints John. This one will print John, and then the second printout will be Dio. So you have some questions here. You can pause and then put the questions out at the comment section. 1 2 3. So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next class.